everybody. Sorry about that. A little problem with my ears. I've got them screwed on properly and they're working now. Welcome, welcome. We've got a fantastic Colour Me Happy show. And I'm really excited because I haven't seen a Colour Me Happy show here in the studio for some time. I've not been around. So I'm really looking forward to that. As I can see, so are you. Sarah Brown says, hi again, my crafty friends. It's now midnight here, so I'm definitely in your fuchsia. Dear. And yes, Becky, hot chocolate with a dash or two of Baileys is coming up. Where are you? You're in Melbourne. Australia. And my daughter's planning a little holiday over there. Going to travel to Melbourne and to Sydney. She's going to go and stay with my cousins. Very excited. I'm quite jealous. Jamie says Colour Me Happy is my favourite show ever. Good, because that's why we're here. And June says, hello all, trying to find my way through all my stuff in my craft room as I have to move everything to a replacement window. I keep going, oh, I didn't know I had this. I think that is a problem, isn't it? We put things in boxes and forget we've got them. My craft room is so bad, I've had to pay my daughter to help me to tidy it up. But she's quite happy with that. Carl just says, hello everyone from Arkansas. Charlotte Everett says, good afternoon, all my crafty lovelies from here in Herne Bay. Clarice says, hi, all from South Carolina. Alicia Gordon says, good morning and greetings from Arkansas. And Teresa says, good morning, everybody. I do hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you've got a great day planned. And of course, you're going to be wanting to watch us all day long and take full advantage of having the lovely Jan here to give you all the advice and help that you might need if you're going to be starting doing things with multimedia. Now, well, mixed media, rather. We do have Fiver Friday today, so lots of great items available on the website just for five. I can't say it. I can't say five. It's Fiber Friday for me. Make sure you have your five a day today. You have plenty of fibre and you take advantage of what's on that Fiver Friday page. We've also got special deals for you on mixed media items. You can save up to 70% off, so do make sure you have a look at all of those bits and pieces there. As I said in the earlier show, if you've got any questions, put them our way. It is a international Try New Book Month. Something like that when I Googled it. So get your suggestions for new books coming in, because I like to read, Jan likes to read, and lots of you from the last show love to read. And actually it's really good if you can let us know the kind of books you're into. Maybe you've just discovered a new writer. Maybe this is the opportunity for you to find out some new writers as well. Just please do message in and let us know what your thoughts are. Right. Jan, I've got Jan here with me. Hello, Jan, how are you doing?
I am good, thank you. Yeah, it took us a little while there. We've had some very, very strange going on with wiring this morning. So we're all plugged in and we're all good. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. As you know, I love my mixed media and it's really nice that I can bring it to you guys at home. So we've got a real mixture on today and basically keeping it simple. Mixed media can be pretty much anything you want it to be. With regards to mixing your mediums, that is simply, as much as it is. So, one of them we're going to be using gilding wax, one of them we're going to be using the glitter paste. We're going to have a look at those glitter glues. We're going to have a look at, we've got some odd cosmic shimmer products on the show for you today that are still, that I've brought to you before, but they may be new to you today. So again, we're going to go through those and got some great demos lined up for you. So yes, can't wait to get started.
Fantastic. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. And I think Janice says, I love it when Jan is on. I feel I learn so much, and I think I'm absolutely the same. I learn so many of the things that I say on other shows are because I've watched you, Jan, because you have sort of given me those tips and ideas. Right, the first thing we're going to look at are over here. Hold on a minute. See, normally I'm a little bit more organised, but because I had to screw my new ears in, I couldn't quite work out what was going on. Right, we're going to look first of all at the floral frame and emboss folders here. You've got 8 in total. I had to keep checking earlier on because it didn't look like, I felt that there was too many for that kind of price. Once you see what you're going to be getting, you will be amazed as well. These are embossing folders, but actually cut out the aperture in the middle. So you can see these all sorts of different floral shapes and designs. This is your classic winter rose. The next one is your forget-me-not. This one is your peony. Yeah, peony blooms. I'm trying to guess what they are. This one is your beautiful blossom. Very pretty there. This one is your fragrant magnolias. This is your gerbers. This is your striking gerber. This next one is your vibrant rose. And then finally you have your dancing daffodils. This whole collection of all of these 8 different designs is only £31 or $35. Your platinum price is £24.80 or $28. These are absolutely gorgeous. You've got a few samples over there, haven't you, Jan?
I have got some samples, yeah. I like to show you some ideas. You know, obviously I can demo certain things with them, but I think the design team do a fabulous job, and I'd just like to sort of show some of their ideas and their take on what is essentially the same products. So yeah, we've got the cut and emboss folder. Each of them feature a different flower and a different shaped aperture, but the concept is the same all the way through the bundle. Really, really nice in the sense that you can cut that aperture. Like you can see here, we've used it to pop a sentiment inside. You could put a little photo in the back of there. It could just be, we were talking about earlier about utilising those beautiful scenes on some of the paper pads. It could just be, you know, part of the paper that's showing underneath. But you can see there, just using your inks. This one's actually been done, I think, with pens over the top of the embossing, just to highlight those beautiful flowers there. And then we've got, again, much more sort of pastel tones on that one.
Pretty.
This is lovely. It's been done with white. It's been heat embossed with white powder, and then those gorgeous sort of tones of apricots and terracottas in there. Again, you know, using that as a focal point for our easel cards. We've got that lovely little forget-me-not there, which is beautiful, which we tend to think of as being blue. But why not change the colour scheme? I always think, you know, when you're paper crafting, it's artistic license. It can be whatever you want it to be. The same idea with the, we've got the blue there. And this one's been very, very cleverly thought through, because this has actually opened, tends to be what we call that K card, because the aperture we've used on the other side of the card, and it just opens and then tucks back in.
That's
and
very
you can
clever.
see that actually closes up to be flat. So yeah, very, very clever idea. That was our Rebecca on the design team. I love how that's been done, because this looks as if it's all one piece, and then it's like a little trifold, and that one's stuck on the other side there. So yeah, fabulous way of using that one. Really, really pretty again, you know, extending them. They are different sizes. That's the other thing I like about these. We've got some of them that are 4x6. We've got some square ones, you know, so you can extend these just by adding an extra piece to it. And then again, you know, that I thought this was lovely. Very, very pastel. It says Hello Winter there with the silver gilding wax and a little bit of ink. But I just think that would be gorgeous for something like a, you know, winter wedding invite or something like that. Really, really pretty. So, shall we get into a demo?
Absolutely.
Are we going straight into a demo?
Yeah.
Fabulous. Right, so I've actually chosen the Vibrant Rose. And when I was here last week, I did a demo with one of these folders, and everybody absolutely loved it, because we actually went a little bit gothic. Oh. So I thought we'd actually repeat that for the benefit of people that are tuning in today that are fans of Colour Me Happy and maybe weren't watching last week. Because you tend to think of these as being, you know, they're floral folders. All the flowers have come in certain colours, so we tend to think about what colours, you know, that flower might be. We're just going to tip it on its head today, and I'm going to bring in some black card, and I'm going to bring in the old gilding wax, because this never, ever, ever gets old for me. It's one of the simplest techniques in the book, and yet it comes up fabulous. So this one's actually a square design. You can just see on the packaging here, it's just over 5 1/4 inches square. All right, and if you're new to crafting and you haven't seen it, well, what on earth's a cut and emboss folder, Jan? I don't know what you're talking about. Traditionally, our embossing folders have that raised and recessed area to create that 3D effect. The difference with these is that they have a cutting shape in it as well. So this has actually got the equivalent of a die, a thin metal die inside, embedded into the folder. Now the white piece in here is foam, and that's there for a reason. So don't think you've got some cardstock stuck in it and try and dig it out.
Okay.
It's there to help pop the card out, because normally when we're die cutting, you would get your die brush or your pokey tool and you'd pop the pieces out, but obviously this is all part of the folder. So the pressure of the foam behind it is just to help get that piece out of the centre there. So what I've done is I always, when I'm embossing, I always cut my cardstock just a fraction, and I'm talking like a 1/16 of an inch.
Okay.
Just slightly smaller, so that I don't get, because the card does stretch. when you pop it through the machine, particularly with an embossing folder, it does give a little bit. So I tend to go just a fraction smaller to start off with, and I've got some of our matte black card, and I'm going to pop that inside. Now, if you're using a cardstock that's got a good side, so this is the same back and front because it's got a black core. But say, for example, you was using a nice Centura pearl that had got a colour on one side. You want your colour on the side where the die is going to fold onto, so that you're cutting through that cardstock. This will be the reverse of the design. Okay, so we're just going to line that up inside. And we're going to pass this through our Gemini. And these behave like a normal 2D folder. So again, it's just worth thinking about the shims, the sequence here, because I'm going to take out both my frosted shim and my magnetic shim. I'm just going to use the two external, so sort of the bottom and the top cutting plate.
Okay.
And the other thing that's worth thinking about, because I've just said that the card does sometimes stretch a little bit, I always tend to put the hinge of my embossing folder through the mouth of the machine first. So I very, very rarely put it in this way, because if the card does stretch slightly, it's got nowhere to go. And sometimes when you've embossed, you'll find that that card's rutled a little bit, and it's because there's no give in it. So I've got my hinge at this side. I'm going to turn it that way, and we're just going to pass it through that machine. I've just used the smaller plates because... Open the machine first, Jan. That bit will go back on. Frightened me to death then. Oh, heart's going 10 to the dozen then. Oh, that's going to be on one of the outtakes, isn't it? You can just... It did pop a piece out, but it will pop back in. All is good. Just settle down there. My heart's going 10 to the dozen now. I thought somebody had been shot then. I was like, what's going on? I'm calm.
Oh dear. Never mind.
Oh, right, okay, where were we?
I'm sure many people have done exactly the same.
This is clearly how the day is going to progress, isn't it? What with your ears and my nearly killing the Gemini. I'm just looking at it now. Yeah, it's good. That piece will go.
And my spider on Wednesday. Did you hear about my spider?
I did hear about your spider on your sewing machine.
Petrifying. Just as I start to sew on my Facebook Live, it goes...
Oh, we've had quite a few in the house recently. It is spider season, so I gather, but they are...
Yeah.
My concern, I had to shout my husband the other day because there was one right above the doorway. He was just lurking right on the cut, and I'm like... The minute I walk under that door, and I shouted him up, and I was like, it is a decent... Because he gets mad with me when I shout him for these little tiny spiders, but this was a good size. And I'm like, the bit that worries me is, where has it been hiding to get that big? Or has it wandered in from outside?
Well, apparently not, because if you take a house spider and you put it outside in the garden, they die. Because they're not meant to be out in the garden.
Outside.
So actually, they've just been living in your house.
Oh, no,
under your bed.
No. I can't even think about it. No. So you can see there, this one's actually come out. The piece has come out of the centre, the aperture piece, and then we've got this gorgeous design. Now, I'm always very aware that on the black card, you don't see much, but as soon as I add the gilding wax to this, you'll see this pattern come to life. So we'll pop that to one side. I've taken the King Gold gilding wax, which just happens to be one of my favourite shades. Now, last week I did this with the black and silver, so I thought we'll have a look at the gold on it today, and it goes better with the cardstock that I've chosen. So again, the gilding wax, this is a solvent-based wax, and I'm just going to take some out. And the idea, if I go straight on here now, I am literally just going to get a big splodge of a fingerprint. So the idea is almost as if you're trying to get it back off. You put your finger in to gather it, and then literally tap as much of it off. Make sure you've got it off the end of your finger, and take as much of it off as you can, and that's what you want left. And then it is just the lightest touch, just to highlight where that embossed area is. And then once you've got that gilding wax down, you can then go back in and sort of layer it. If you want it to be a bit brighter, a bit more solid. But on that first layer, I usually just go very, very light and just pick up where that embossed area, and you can see that pattern start to come to life there.
If you didn't want to use your fingers, would you use a Dorbo, or would you use something else?
I've tried it with applicators, and personally I don't get as good a result. I think because there's a little residue, a bit of heat in your fingers, it keeps that wax sort of movable.
Yeah.
I have tried it with the ink daubers, I've tried it with the applicator tools, I've tried it with like little cotton bud, Q-tip, that kind of thing, and it does work. But on a personal level, I am a messy crafter anyway. You know me, I'm always covered in something. But yeah, I actually prefer, and I feel as if I've got more control over it, just using my finger. But yeah, it's a good point, Becky, because not everybody can cope with the products on the skin. You know, if you've got very sensitive skin, then try the other applicator methods and see how you get on with it. So yeah, I'm just going all the way around. Just first of all finding out where that sort of raised area is, and then when I'm happy with that, I'm just going to go over it a little bit because I want a bit more sort of strength of that gold colour on there. Now you do get a little bit of a bloom around the embossing because it's virtually impossible to stay on top of it, but I don't mind that. I think it almost acts as like a little sort of shadow around it. So again, I'm just going to brighten this one up a little bit.
So it's just like a gradual build-up that you should do. It
is, yeah, it is. And I find that that works better than going in heavy to start with, because you can bet your life, the minute that you go in heavy with it, you're just going to get that big splodge of wax. And once it's on the cardstock, it's not easy to remove it. Make sure that I've gone all the way around that internal piece. And then we'll get rid of the rest of the wax there. So yeah, tend to use the baby wipes, and it concerns me as to what's in baby wipes that clean this up so so we look at this and I just think, what's in there that's cleaning a solvent-based product up so easy? And this is what we use on our children. Yeah, just worry me slightly. So there we go. So that's our gilding wax done. Now this was actually made, the Pebbio range was made originally for working with furniture. So you know when you're upcycling and things like that. So it is very, very robust, and it does dry pretty much. It's not actually, it's weird, I say it's not a wet product. It has to be to a certain extent to get onto the cardstock. Yeah. But it's not wet per se. Yeah. So this is actually fine now. There's no residue on there. And it's made to actually buff. It will buff up and give you a shine. So we've actually got that little bit of shimmer on there already. But just using a soft cloth and just giving it a good buff, it just brings up the most amazing sort of shine on it. So just take your time, work your way around it. And I am applying a fair bit of pressure onto there with the cloth. It's almost as if you're trying to rub it off again, but obviously it's you know, it's sat on there now, it's not going anywhere. But it does bring up that lovely sort of shimmer. And as I say, it never gets old, this. I just think it's one of the nicest techniques. So we're going to pop that onto well, it's not a card, I've made a box with this one. So I've actually done some of the prep because I didn't want to spend an age just making the box. So I've actually got my box base, and we're going Halloweeny again. I've still got my Halloween stuff out from last week. So we are going Halloween. So I've just popped a piece of paper in the base of the box. And this one's just going to be a standard box today. We did, when I was here last week, we did the little pizza style boxy, which was well received. But this one's just going to be a box lid and a box base. So again, I've used my red line tape just for speed to actually stick those corners together. And we've got our base with our little pumpkins inside. And then I've started working on the top of it. So again, I've got the same structure. And then I've used some of our metallic Centura pearl. Yeah. Now this is actually the copper, but I thought it went quite well with this. Yeah, and then what I've done is I've just cut my strips to size, and then last year's range of Halloween products had a lovely embossing folder in it, which was all the spider web. Oh. So if we've got any of these left, these will be on the website. And all I've done is just pass these pieces through. You can see that sort of webbing detail, just to give it a little bit more detail and a bit of texture on there. And then we've got a piece of the copper to go on top of there. So I'm just going to use my tape pen to add that to the top of the card. The box is all made from the matte black cardstock again. And I always, for this is sort of a standard size for me. This is actually 8 1/4 square. So it's the width of our A4 here in the UK. And I tend to do it square. And then I think I've got 1 3/4 inches all the way around the edge of it for the sides of the box. So this one's going to sit in the top in the centre there, and then we're going to overlay that piece. Now then, that one's a little bit Which one shall we go with? That's a bit brighter, that one, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that
like
one's
the
better.
white bright one. We'll do that one over the top, okay? So in the back of here, you can pop a greeting, you can pop a sentiment in the back of there, but I'm actually just going to pop another piece of paper in there so that we've got a little bit of detail behind it, because I'm going to cover some of this side up with the embellishment. So yeah, all I'm going to do is run my tape pen just around the edge of the paper there. Whoops. Come back. It's definitely going to be one of those days today. Don't know what's going off. And then this one.
Rachel said she liked the fact that you said you'd be able to see if any of those embossing folders were left on the website. On the website.
I get it. I had to think that. It took a second for the penny to drop. But yes, the web, the spider web. So there we go. That one's going to go on the back, and then I'm just going to sit this one flat for the purpose of the demo. You could raise this layer up if you wished, but I've got my embellishments on foam pads, so I'm going to keep this layer flat on the top of the box. I just thought these would be great, you know, if you're wanting to make little Halloween gifts, or if you're wanting to go trick or treating, you know, you could put your little sweets and things in there. Apologies to anybody out there that doesn't. I know that some of you don't do Halloween, and I do apologise. I know over in the States it's quite a big event, and it does seem to be getting bigger over here in the UK. Excuse me? They liked Halloween, whoever that was. So what I've done, I've just gone back to that pad that I had with me last week, which was the 3D topper pad. And I've decoupaged one of the sets there. You can just see the little bits of foam pads in between. And then this little guy, just because we could, and we pick up, he's been glittered. Can you see him there?
Oh, very
yeah,
Damien
so that, the glitter glue, which we've got coming up later in the show, I've literally just gone round it with the glitter, with the crystal, the clear one, the white one. And I just thought, why not?
Oh, yeah.
Just because it's Halloween doesn't mean we can't have a bit of glitter. So I've literally got some foam pads on the back of there. And because we're going to go onto that gilding wax, I do tend to add a little bit of glue as well to my foam pads. I've got a bit in there that wants to pop out. That shouldn't be there. Come out.
Marianne asked, what colour did you use? Was that King Gold?
It was King Gold, yeah. Or alternatively, with the copper cardstock, you could probably get away with the Renaissance Gold as well. That's got sort of a coppery undertone to it. So yeah, just because this is going to stick here on top of the gilding wax, if it's ever inked or wax or anything like that, I usually just add an extra little bit of glue to help these bond. So just the tacky glue on top of those, and then we're going to pop him in that corner at the bottom there. Okay. And then I'm just going to take off the liner off the tape again, and as I say, I've just used red line tape for speed while we're on air. I do tend to stick my boxes together with wet glue when I'm at home. I don't know why, it's, you know, it all does the same thing. It's just horses for courses. But yeah, I'm just going to fold those in and make those right angular corners again. And then the last thing, which is from that same Halloween set here, we had a Happy Halloween sentiment in this one. So this is Wicked Witchcraft, if anybody's wanting to have a look on the website for it. And I've just stamped out to pop on the top here a Happy Halloween. So we're just going to take the backings off. We're going to try and take the backings off. There we go. And again, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to put that little bit of glue on those because we're going on to the top of the gilding wax again. And then this one's just going to go at a slight angle. I don't want to cover up too much of the embossed folder. And pop that one on there. And then we've got our little gift box that you could actually treat somebody, or you could take it with you if you were trick-or-treating. So we've got it there, and then I'll turn it round for you to have a look at the other way. Okie dokes. There you go. But you can just see that lovely embossed.
Yes.
As I say, it never gets old. It's one of the first techniques I learned with the embossing folders, and it never ever gets old with the gilding wax. I just think every time you're guaranteed a really nice effect with it.
That looks lovely. I've got a couple of questions for you, actually.
Yep.
Maricel says, I've got some fabric I want to attach to card that I gilded with the wax. Which adhesive would be best that won't go through the fabric?
So she's got fabric that she's gilded with wax?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I would be tempted to use a proper fabric glue for something like that. Even if I was sticking it to cardstock, I'd still go with a fabric glue, which we do sell on the website. We've got lots and lots of different glues. Kalal do a fantastic range of glues. So if you have a look on the website under Kalal glue, it comes in a bottle, if I remember, like the all-purpose, but they've all got different coloured lids for the different purposes. You might know, Becky, because you do the soft prints.
I mean, I'm a big fan of the Kalal all-purpose on fabric, particularly felt. It works really well. I suppose it depends on what kind of fabric you've used, and if you can avoid getting the glue on the front of it. I mean, sometimes I'd put a piece of fabric that's a bit bigger than my piece of card, and I'd wrap it over, and then I'd secure it on the back with like red liner tape. That might be an option for you. Maybe just try it out with a few different types of glue. But yeah, I think, you know, some of them you do end up like a bit of seepage, don't you? Yeah,
sometimes it can come through the fibres of the fabric, can't it? The other idea is maybe to try the double-sided adhesive on the back of the fabric. And that should stick. That provides you your adhesive barrier between the fabric and whatever you're sticking it to.
Yeah, good idea. And Lindsay says, it's a quick question. I don't know if it just happens to me, but can you share tips on when I score my multi-purpose card so it doesn't crack and it makes my cards look awful? So if you're just going to be scoring a piece of multi-purpose card, how do you do it?
Right, now then, I have a school of thought on this. Whether it's right or not, I am not sure. Let me just grab my scoreboard off the end here. It's all nicely hooked up on there. So yeah, I tend to have a school of thought. Whether it's right, I do not know. It's the way I think about it. And I've seen people do it different ways. And I'll show you the way that I do it. So I'm just grab my scoring tool. So excuse the little piece that I chopped out earlier, but we'll just score this down the centre. So I'm going to score nice and gently. What did we have? We had a full sheet of A4, which will be 5 7/8, won't it? Yeah, so just, it doesn't really matter where we score it, Jan, just score it. Yeah, so I'm just going to go gently to start off with, and I usually do sort of a couple of times. Basically, the idea of scoring is to start breaking the fibres down in the cardstock. Cardstock doesn't have a memory of its own, so you've got to teach it what to do. Now, I always do this, is I have my score line on top and I fold away from that score line. I've seen some people wrap it over and put that score line inside. Now, to me, doing that, this piece of bit of card on the reverse hasn't stretched. So when you start to fold it this way, there is a chance that you'll get some give in it, and that's where the cracking comes from. If you have your score line on top where we've already started working the fibres, and just fold that across gently, and then I use my burnishing tool, whether it be your one from the scoreboard, or I tend to use a bone folder, and just make sure you've burnished that line in. If you have a look there now, I don't know how close our James can get, but there is no cracking whatsoever on the top of there.
Oh, great tip.
Now, whether that is scientifically the reason, as opposed to doing it this way, I don't know. But I've always done that. Whatever I'm using, whether it's multi-purpose, Centura Pearl, paper, anything like that, I always have my score line and fold away from it so that the score line's on the outside, not trapped on the inside. So that's the best tip I can give you. It may be that sometimes, and I mean, I have to be careful with this, because if you're very heavy-handed with your scoring, you can actually damage the cardstock with the score tool. So then when you fold, it's already broken. Yes, so nice gentle scoring, maybe more than once, rather than going in heavy and doing a big, deep score line and then folding away from that actual score. Brilliant. And I find that works for me.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much for that. That's brilliant. Excellent. So these are our floral frame cut and emboss folders. You've got 8 in this collection. This first one is your classic winter rose, and you see how amazing they look once you start using them. This next one is your forget-me-not, I do like this kind of gothic idea of them. This one is your peony blooms. Then we have your beautiful blossom. This one is your fragrant magnolia. This is your, I can't speak today. This is just like, can I just not talk for the rest of the day? I think that's quite fundamental that you do talk, Becky. Striking gerbera, not stinking gerbera as it looks in that handwriting. This is vibrant rose. And this final one is your delightful, I'm sorry, your dancing daffodils.
What is going on?
£31 or $35. The platinum price is £24.80 or $28. Now, if you've been inspired by that demo, you will need to get your hands on some gilding wax. And we have a collection of 5 different pots here. This first one here is your silver. You can see that colour is absolutely beautiful, really rich colour. If I show you that, you can see that a little goes a very, very long way in these pots. There's your silver. This next one is your king gold, which is the one you just saw Jan using. We then have Renaissance gold, which is kind of coppery type colour. This one is your antique gold. And then this final one is the one I can't remember, and I'm looking it up. This is your, what's this one? 1, 2.
Empire.
Empire. It's not on my list. It's not on my list.
I think all 5 of them are on there, but there are some of the wording seems
I don't
to be
think
missing.
I don't think it's printed out properly. So you basically buy 4 and you get 1 free in the bundle here. £47.96 or $67.96. Platinum price is £38.37 or $54.37. I think with everyone that's used this says actually they've bought them and never actually used them, use them all up because they last such a long time. So that is a really good collection to have. The next thing we're going to have a look at is a glitter paste. Why have I not picked that one up, Becky? Why? This is the question we ask ourselves regularly, Becky. Why? Glitter paste. You may have seen the demo earlier on today with Jen showing you how to use these. We're going to have another one a little bit later on, but really amazing products. Again, small pots, but you will notice, you will see, these pots are going to last and last because you need the tiniest amount. This first one is your Ice Dance, which is this gorgeous royal blue, full of glitter. Next one is your Holly and Ivy, which is this beautiful, very rich, dark green. We've got Fairy Lights, which is the beautiful gold colour. And then finally we have the poinsettia. Look at that rich red tone you've got there. £27 or $33. Platinum price is £21.60 or $26.40. Whoops, don't roll off. But if you're going to be using those, you're going to want to have the stencils. So we have a collection of Christmas stencils as well. This first one here. Now, with all of these stencils, you have a large background stencil, but you've also got 2 smaller ones, one rectangular and one square, with different kinds of imagery or different sections of the imagery on them. And this first one here is your Christmas poinsettia. Beautiful set of stencils there with that lovely bow. This one is your snowflake. Again, very pretty. I particularly like this one here. I think that little strip is really nice. Then we have the snowfall. This one's called Feeling Festive. You've got that Santa sleigh, you've got that bell, but this, I mean, this for me is just absolutely beautiful. Really, really like that. And then finally, this one is your Jolly Holly Christmas with those holly leaves and those beautiful bells in there as well. £28 or $35, and platinum price is £22.40 or $28. And of course, you can use these with other things, not just the glitter paste. But Jan, you're going to do a demo using these now, aren't you?
I am. I'm going to come back to a demo. I was just going to show for a benefit of anybody that wasn't watching earlier that I actually did it on. Do you know? Somebody, are you psychic?
That is quite
our
weird.
Liam's just come into the studio with the one bit that I thought I was missing.
I reckon he's been eavesdropping on us,
And he's just appeared
Jan.
with it as if by magic. Thank you. I was wondering where I was going to chuck my stencil when I'd finished. I thought, I can't get it through the wall to the other side. And he appears as if by magic.
Maybe it's telepathic. No, yes. I'm going to think of, what do I need?
Yes, thank you. I was going to have to see if I could communicate that I needed the water bath.
That's amazing.
just appeared out of nowhere, he did, bless him. So yeah, this morning we actually just sort of embellished a piece of our 12 by 12 paper. So rather than actually using it to create, you know, a project, which is what I'm going to do with the next demo, excuse me, I just wanted to show you, that you can just add, this is a piece from our Tis the Season paper pad, and all I did was use a mixture of that beautiful green, you can see on the corner there, and then just faded it into a little bit of gold, just on one corner. Could do the opposite corner as well. Use this as a scrapbook page, perhaps fussy cut round here so that you could tuck your photo underneath the holly there. Alternatively, cut it into 4 pieces and you've got an embellished piece on the side there. So that was where we went to this morning. My voice is disappearing now. And now we're going to actually come back and make something similar to what we've got on here, but with a slight jam twist on it. So I'm going to use the Christmas poinsettia, which is a mixture of those gorgeous poinsettia flowers, and then you've got the holly and the berries. And these come as a 3-part stencil. So your main stencil is 8.5 inches square, and then you also get the extra pieces that go with it. So in this case, we have got that lovely long bow with those lovely sort of ribbon garlands on the end of it there, which could be a border, it could be a focal point. And then we've got this one, which was probably more intended to be a border that you can actually span a project with. So we're going to use a combination of these two. I'm not using the long bow for this particular, the long bow, yeah, stop Jan. Step away from the, do you know, what is going on? What is in the air, Becky, today? Honestly, I don't know what's going off. I think they've put something in the air.
I think so. We're still already halfway through the day, Jan. This is the worrying thing.
What is happening?
I don't know.
Either that or it's catching. Yeah. Right. I'm staying away from the bow. And I don't have a long bow, for any of you that have picked up on that. So we're going to go with that nice square stencil. Now I've actually got a piece of cardstock that is smaller than my stencil. I've cut this down to the size that I want for my project. So again, I do prefer to stick these down, and I just use some of the low tack tape. If you prefer to pop your
Oh dear.
I think I'm going home after this one, guys. Can you manage tonight?
I think you need a cup of coffee.
I don't know what I need. I'm shooting, I think, today. What's the word I'm looking for, guys? Repositionable. Repositionable. Stick and spray. Thank you, Nicola. I'm glad one of us is sane today. All right. On the reverse of it, you can stick it down. Okay. What I'm going to do is literally just pop my tape on the back. So all I've done is it's just about, not quite, but just about the size of the stenciled area. And all I tend to do is just pop a couple of pieces of our low tack tape on the back there, and I'm good to go. Okay? I've got a piece of scrap paper just to try and save the mat. Okay? And I've taken this time, I'm going to work with the Ice Dance, which is that gorgeous royal blue, and then the fairy lights again, which is the gold. So I like using 2 colours. I like that 2-tone effect on them. I'm also going to bring in my spatula, which we have these on the show as well. And these are a set of 3. I'll just show you the other 2. You've got the little pointy one, okay, which has got an angled blade on it. You've got the rounded one with a flat blade. And then I must admit, my preference is the rounded one with the slightly angled blade. I find this one is good for my use, but again, have a go with them and have a try. So we're going to start with that blue, and again, you can see there's not that much gone out of these. I do use them a fair bit for embellishing and things, but it's going to go quite a long way. So again, take some out, and what I want to do is sort of come more across the middle so that I've got some gold areas at the side. So I'm just going to start and literally just spread it as if you'd got a butter knife and you were buttering your toast. And I say this every time because that's the closest thing that I can get to the action that you're actually going to do with it. Okay? And again, take it all the way across.
The details about the palette knives are just below on the screen, so you get a set of 3 in those. So do have a look on the website if you're keen to get hold of those. That is, it is quite addictive watching.
Honestly.
That spread on there.
And the results are just phenomenal. You know, as always, when Leanne's created these, you know, she puts a lot of time into the products and you've got the most immense amount of sparkle going on. You know, I've used other glitter pastes in the past, but the amount of glitter in these, for the size of the pot is just beautiful. So all I've done there is with the blue, I'm happy with the coverage. You can see that there's no dents in it. And then the last, just very lightly over the top of it, will take off any excess glitter that you've got left on your palette knife. And that's going back in my pot every time. So don't waste it. So that's going to go back in there. Try and waste as little as possible. And again, because there's some bits around the edge here, you know, I'm going to take all those extra bits off here, look, and it goes back in the pot. All right. And then that's my blue finished with. So that one can have its lid on. And then I'm just going to clean that knife because I don't want to contaminate my gold now with the blue glitter. Now, because I'm going to use a second colour, there will be a little bit of oh my Lord, seriously? Contamination, what is going on? I've never been like this. I blame you, Becky, it's catching.
Don't blame me.
It's catching. You were like this morning. Here we go, look.
Do you know, I always think it's because your brain is working faster than your mouth.
Oh,
That's
quite
what I think it is.
possibly, quite possibly.
Or it's the other way round.
It might be the other way around in my case. So yeah, I'm going to come in with the gold now, and there will be a little bit of contamination there. So I'm not going to put this back in my gold pot. What I tend to do is once I've got an empty pot, keep the empty one, rinse it out, and I usually put all the mixture together that's contaminated, you know, and you can use it for other things. So just where I've got gaps now, I'm going to pop that gold, and I don't mind if that sort of edges into the blue. I want those two to sort of almost mix. You can see where I'm picking up a little bit of the blue as well. And I want the two to mix round the corners, round the edges there. And again, I'm going to turn that work so that it's at an angle that suits my hand here, rather than trying to get round it into, you know, difficult positions. Just tilt that work, and you can see we're getting that nice sort of combination of colour there as it blends from one shade into the other. And then again, the tiniest little bit just to finish this corner off. So wherever there's a gap there, we're just going to fill in with that gold, and then we can have a look at that finished result. So just make sure that we've got it all covered and that we don't have any sort of dips in it. And then once I'm happy with that, as I say, I'm not going to put that bit back into my gold pot now because I don't want to contaminate it with the blue. So just for demo purposes, I am going to get rid of that last little bit there.
Interesting, as that gold mixes with the blue, it almost creates like a silver colour, doesn't it?
I'm sort of thinking along the lines of green because you've got the blue and yellow, really, haven't you? So yeah, I think you're probably going to get a little bit of a green tinge to it. So what we're going to do now then is we're going to take this away, remembering that I had the tape under it as well. So I need to release the stencil from the tape as well as the cardstock. And you can see there how we've got that beautiful, beautiful design. Now I'm just going to pop that to one side until I can get it in the water bath. Move the piece of paper from the bottom. And just be careful with it because obviously it does stay wet a little while. And again, it depends where you're working as to how quickly this dries. At home, if it's a nice warm day in my conservatory, then this can dry in as much as 10 minutes flat. If it's a bit cooler, or if you're working somewhere that's not quite as warm, it may take a little bit longer. Now, the one that we did at the top of Wake Up Call, we actually looked at the end of the show on that piece of paper, and it was perfectly dry. So over a 2-hour period, it had, well, less than 2 hours because we didn't do it right at the top of the show. It had dried perfectly on the card. So yeah, just leave it to one side and leave it somewhere flat. If you pop it on an uneven surface, because the paste has got an element of moisture in it, the card will warp if it's not on a flat surface. So pop it somewhere flat to dry. So I'm actually going to put my piece piece back on that paper to dry off, because obviously I needed one that was dry to use for our demo. So what I did at home was exactly the same, and I've got my piece here. Let's have a look. There we go. So that was what I've done with it. I've got the gold around the outside.
Yeah.
And I've got the blue in the middle. And then I've just used one of my square nesting dies to take out the centre, because I wanted the frame part for the front of the card, and then we're going to have this part on the inside of the card, and we're going to make an aperture in the front so that you can see this from the front, but when you open it, this bit's going to remain on the inside.
Okay.
So certain things that I've done to get towards that level, and I'll just talk you through these. We'll come back to those ones in a second. So I've started out with my card blank, and I did actually make this one out of 2 pieces of white multi-purpose card, because it was bigger than my my cardstock. So this actually measures 7 3/4 square with a view to fitting in an 8-inch envelope.
Okay.
And I've used the same square as what I used to cut this out, to cut the centre of the card. So this is the opening of the card. It's going to have that aperture in the front, and we're going to have this bit in the back here so that it closes onto it. So what I've done is I've prepared this because I want to put some acetate over here first. So I've literally just used some of my thin red line tape, and I want to cover the aperture with some acetate. Now you don't have to, I just felt that it would be a nice sort of addition. So we're going to go with an ordinary opening card, and then we're going to pop the acetate right over the middle here. And then we're going to pop the rest of the stuff on top so that the acetate's trapped in the middle. Mm-hmm. And then what I've done is I've taken some of our royal blue Centura pearl and some of our gold glitter card from the luxury card packs, and I've made myself my matte layers. Now I've taken the centre out because obviously I want this bit to remain visible. We need to see that aperture. I've actually taken a larger piece out of here because I've then cut it down to create my inside aperture. So this was the waste from what came out of the main 2 pieces to make the inside piece. So this one's going to go on the outside, but just before we do that, well, this one's going to go on here like so, yeah, and that's going to line up with that aperture that we've cut on the inside of the card there. Okay, so yeah, I can stick this layer down, and I'm just going to go back in with that tape pen and get those secured onto the front of the card.
Producer Nicola was worried that I was looking a little bit confused, and I was absolutely mesmerised by watching you put that together.
So we're going to pop that one on the front there. And again, I've just cut this slightly smaller. And again, I've gone with the offset layers. So I've got a very, very narrow, it's just going to be that outside layer of the blue showing on the front. Mm-hmm. And then I've left a slightly larger border of the gold showing there. So you can see we've got that sort of offset layers again, which I'm quite liking at the minute. But what I want to put in between is I've actually already prepared this one, and I've done the little bow in the gold. So you can see there, just over the top there, just gone straight through with the gold glitter to make this one. And then I've just added, I'd got some little gems that were pretty much the same colour, just nice in the centre there. So we're going to put, and what we're going to do, I've got some blue to matte it on. I just want a little bit of blue showing at either side there. So the first thing I'm going to do is pop that onto the blue.
If you didn't have a gem like that, could you use glossy highlights over the glitter?
You could use highlights, you could use some of the glitter glue, you could make the little domes with the glitter glue, the gold glitter glue, and that
would still work despite the fact you've used the glitter paste?
Yes, yeah, we'll still stick to it, yeah. So this one's just going to stick here with a little bit of a blue border at either side, like so. And then what I want to do is actually bridge the gap here. So I'm going to trap this underneath my frame so that we've got that little bow across the middle, okay? Mm-hmm. So all I'm going to do is I've popped some tape on either side of here. I don't want the tape to show through the acetate window, so I'm just going to pop it at either side, and I'm just going to sort of eyeball around about the centre there with the same at the top and bottom, and we're going to pop that one in the middle before we stick this one on top. Okay, so I think I'm happy with that that way round. I like that. Now, because I'm going on to the glitter cardstock here, I'm actually going to come out with my wet glue this time. So whenever I'm sticking to glitter card that's got a coated surface, I want something that's going to seep into the fibres of the glitter so that we get a really nice stick. So again, I'm just going to come around the edge of here with my tacky glue, and we're going to pop this one on top of that glitter. So again, I can probably do a couple of rows because we've got a little bit of space. Don't let me down now. Everything's there.
Well, actually, somebody's come up with a reason as to why we're in, things are going wrong.
Is there something going off in the air?
Sally Ann says it's silly vibes left over from Craig and Ben.
Is it? Have they left them in the studio?
I quite like the idea that we can blame someone else.
Yes.
I'm going with that.
Me too.
Suzette said it's catching. I think it has
even
been.
my bottle, oh, there we go, because even my bottle's playing up now. So yeah, I had that blue bit in the top corner there. And then this one is just going to stick with that larger gold border. Okay, so we've got quite a, an extravagant sort of Christmas card coming up with this one. So yeah, that's just going to take a second for that tacky glue to seep into the glitter there and just adhere to that one. So while we're doing that, I'm going to come back to the piece that we cut out. This was the piece that I cut out of the middle here. And again, I've used what was left over of the waste on that one to make another matte layer. And again, I've done the very narrow border, slightly wider gold to match what's on the front. So we'll get that one stuck together as well if my my glue's going to behave. I don't know, everything's got the EBGBs today. There's definitely something in the air. There we go. So that one's just going to go on the centre of here. And then what I want to do is line these up so that the front piece looks as if it's still intact. So we're going to pop this underneath on the inside of the card, but it's going to line up with this panel so that it looks as if it's still intact with the bow across the top. So this time I'm going to move to my all-purpose glue because I'm going cardstock to the back of my card here, and it'll allow me that wiggle room time. I'm going to go on the back of here with the all-purpose glue. And then I can roughly eyeball the centre of here, but I can actually move it to make sure it's lined up exactly where I want it. So I'm just going to pop it there. And here, that wasn't too bad, I guess. It wants to come down a little bit until it's actually in position as if this piece is still one full piece. Can you see here? Yep. Yeah. So I think we're just about, yep. So I've just got a little bit there that I need to get rid of. And that bit's going to stick in place like so. So when we close it, it looks as if it is one whole piece there.
That looks brilliant.
It just wants to come down, yeah, a fraction there. Okay, and then very last of all, just to sort of highlight this, I had these with me when I was here last week. We had these gorgeous ornate nesting dies on the show on Sunday when I was here. And I've taken this one and just cut the outside frame, which is how I arrived at the size of the aperture that I wanted to cut, because this is just going to break that design and just finish it off. So again, I'm just going to go back to my tacky glue again because I'm adhering it to the glitter, and I'm just going to pop some of this along the edge here so that we can get a stick all the way round. So just some little dots of it. I'm not too worried about the outside edge of that filigree work. I'm just going to go around the sort of the frame element. As long as that piece is stuck down, the rest of it is going to be in place. So again, just in the gaps there. And then this one is just going to fit around that aperture perfectly because it's the same size as the dies there, just to offset that piece. And then the last thing that I'm going to add to it, I've just gone through my stash and I've just found a nice little sentiment, and I've stamped that in the blue quick dry ink, the dark midnight blue, so that it picks up the blue that we've got going on here. And that one's just going to go So I want a little bit across the bottom and up that side. And that one's just going to go across the bottom there. Again, I've just added some of the little, the gems that I used in the centre here came in different sizes, so I've just popped some on the sentiment there to bring it all together. And we should be good to go. So yeah, quite elaborate, but using those gorgeous, when you look at the glitz and the shimmer on that glitter paste, it is just stunning. And then, as I say, when we open, you've still got this bit. Now, the question I get asked a lot now when you've done this work inside is, where do you put your message? So what I would do with this is do another matte layer on the back with a piece of white card on it, and you could write your message on the back of it, possibly pop a sentiment in the centre of there, and you could put your message on your back. But that is our Christmas stencils and glitter paste. And don't forget, you can use any stencil with the glitter paste. It doesn't have to be one that's been specifically designed for this range. We just brought a set of stencils out for those people that were maybe just making their first purchases. Any of the stencils in your stash you can use the glitter paste with, and of course you can use that stencils that came with the glitter paste with your inks and any other mediums you've got. So complete mix and match ability with either the paste or the actual stencils.
Yeah. Oh, Jan, that is just amazing. That is absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Sentiment that everyone else is saying as well. Marianne says, I love blue and gold. June says that is beautiful. What a cool idea. Love, love, love it, from Kathy Green. Felicity says, I just joined to see Jan creating. How great to see her back, and she's using the stencils I've already bought. I should go back to the beginning and get lots of inspiration. Coletta says, lovely card. Something a little bit different actually, because when I would never have thought of doing something like that, and as Nicola said, I was mesmerised. I was like that.
Just make sure that you just ensure that your glitter is totally dry before you try and die cut it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure that glitter's dried, that paste dried. You don't want to be popping it through your Geminis to cut it with any of it still damp. As I say, you don't want glitter or glue or anything inside there on the rollers. Yeah.
No.
Oh, I usually do the paste and then leave it overnight, come back to it the next day if I'm going to do something else to it.
Fantastic. So that is using the glitter glitter paste and the Christmas stencils. So really great item to get. If you've been, I saw on Facebook people saying that they bought the glitter paste and not too sure how to use it. This is obviously going to massively inspire you. We are going to give you the opportunity to check out your baskets. We will see you in a couple of moments.
Many of our viewers bring up time and time again, and that's our wax seal gate.
Thinking, Joe, it might not work as well because I've put too much. Oh, I've forgotten to put my thing in place.
Because I have a way of words that I think that doesn't engage with that and can come out all wrong. Water.
That wasn't the one you just washed your brush in, was it?
Sorry. Yes, but it doesn't matter.
No, it wasn't, was it? It was. Are you kidding?
I'm going to have to say, it's a slip of the tongue. I'm going to say it's maybe to do with my Scottish accent. I'm maybe going to say it's because of Mr. Ben Mosby. He is, well, yeah, he doesn't help matters.
I've made pots that have exploded when I fired them. I've done zips in inside out. It happens to everybody.
We've all spilt our glitter all over our project or knocked the water over.
You're right.
I've just noticed I've got my dress on inside out.
So I was messing about doing some backgrounds with the sparkling, took the lid off it and managed to catch the pot somehow, and the whole thing came towards me, down my front, across my lap, onto the floor.
I went to reach for the water and, you know, do the tapping with and so there was less tapping and more sort of a tsunami. I've got some. What makes Crafters TV so special is you guys.
It's really special because the experts are really experts. They're really skilled at what they do. And they want to make sure that the audience also improves on their skills.
Crafters TV is so special because you've got together a really sort of key group of people and people that are very passionate about the products.
Crafters TV is so special because it's a unique community that we have with each other where we can learn and grow and communicate with each other.
Community, the family spirit, the education, everything to do with craft. We are all like-minded people who share a passion.
I love all the inspiration the demonstrators bring and all the knowledge for us out here.
What makes Crafters TV so special? 100% it's the interaction. No other crafting TV channel or show has the same interaction.
I love the community, I love chatting live, I think that's the best part. And it's gone beyond crafting because we've become friends.
It feels to me to be a really, really close relationship with our customers and viewers.
You guys make us feel like we're part of your family. I've never been on the show before, but one of my friends who I did meet from CCTV encouraged me, and I was on the craft along.
A massive team of people, and I think they've all got their role to play, and it just brings everything together. It allows us to do our job and just love it.
The people, obviously, the people not just here at Crafts Companion, but the viewers that watch us. I mean, everybody. We have this real magical essence about it.
Bye for now. Bye.
Hello everybody, welcome back. I figured out why Jan and I can't get our words out. We needed some chocolate biscuits. So we've rectified that and we've got some chocolate biscuits here. Well, okay, Liam rectified it because he brought in some chocolate biscuits, but I do feel much better now I've had chocolate biscuits.
Oh dear. How am I going to make it to 8 o'clock tonight, Becky?
No, I give up. Right, we're going to show you more products, I think, is the way to go. I'm not going to talk about biscuits or anything like that. So we're going to have a look, first of all, at the Pearlescent Watercolour Cosmic Shimmer Watercolour Ink. Look at that. Not much of this in stock, so do take full advantage. Can I say that? How many? We've got 5. Got to take full advantage of these. £4.25 or $7.99. They're on a 3 for 2 at the moment. £3.40 at a platinum price or $6.39. Next item we've got is your Holly Green watercolour ink. £4.25 or $7.99. Platinum price is £3.40 or $6.39. Then we have some Intense Pigment Stain Storm Grey. It is intense. £2.75 or $4.49. Platinum price is £2.20 or $3.59. Remember, these are all 3 for 2. We do have a Blue Violet. That is £2.75 again, £4.49. Platinum price is £2.20 or $3.59. We then have some Citrus Lime. Look at that colour. Ooh. This is $2.99 or $4.50. £2.39 or $3.30. Sorry, $3.60 is your platinum price. Next one. It's an Airless Mister. This is Pacific Point. £5.50 or $8.25. Platinum price is £4.40 or $6.60. Those chocolate biscuits have not helped me, and not one iota. Next one we've got is the Airless Mister in Flirty Pink. £5.50, $8.25. Platinum price is £4.40 or $6.60. Brilliant. I've managed to get one out. Was there one more? Got one more? Lovely. This is Poppy Parade. £5.50, $8.25. Platinum price is £4.40 or $6.60. Those are all on a 3 for 2. Definitely worth taking advantage of those. There are not many left. Do take, full advantage, get hold of those as quickly as you possibly can. Next item we've got on the show, it's a mystery bag. But it is not a mystery because we're going to show you what's inside it. Well, it's a mystery. It's a mystery if you're not watching the show. But it's a mystery, to be honest, how you're going to be able to put all of that stuff in there for that price. That is the absolute mystery. And Jan, have you got it over there, the bag? Or have I got the bag?
Ooh.
I have the bag.
You have the bag. Do you know what's making me chuckle, Becky? You know when you watch the shows back on YouTube and they have the subtitles on them? I can't wait to see what it makes of today's shows, honestly. Yeah, there's no telling what it's going to come up with.
Yeah, I think Debbie Robinson had a bit of a problem because it couldn't quite work out her accent, and there was all sorts of things that came out.
I just can't wait to see what it makes of today.
She just didn't say. This is the embossing mystery bag. Like we say, it's no mystery because we're going to tell you what's inside it. The first item I'm going to show you is a pretty patchwork embossing folder. This one is really great item if you are a sewer. Honestly, I should just go home. Do you reckon it's because I'm going to be here for such a long time? My brain and my body have just gone.
That doesn't explain my issues.
And you've caught it from me.
I just joined in to make you feel better, Becky.
I know. No, I don't know what's going on. Right, so pretty patchwork. Great if you are going to be giving a card to somebody that sews. This is a really pretty embossing folder. And then we have another one, which is your sashiko, which is kind of Japanese embroidery. Really beautiful embossing folders. As always with our embossing folders, we really do bring out all the stops and make some beautiful items. This next one is your Regal rectangle. It's a cut and embossing folder with that little aperture that you cut out the side. This is your timeless roses. This is one I was saying earlier, which is a little bit like Lalique crystal bottle or glass bottles. And I think this is the one that you're going to be using in just a moment, isn't it, Jan? This one here. Yes. We also have the Country Lane Gateway to the Country cut and embossing folder, and we've had some fantastic samples of that over the last couple of months. This is your hummingbird. This is a 3-piece 3D embossing folder. We also have, this just keeps on going, this is your elegant flourish, really, really pretty design there, great for doing some of those slimline cards. Who doesn't like a gnome? Everyone loves a gnome. This is your garden gnomes with that beautiful, almost like the skyline you can imagine the Teletubbies playing around in. And then finally we have the Say It With Flowers embossing folder here. This one's really, really pretty as well with that beautiful flower there. Great items, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 altogether for that fantastic price of just £30 or $40. Platinum price is £24 or $32. If, like me, I was always a bit reluctant to have a go at embossing, I was a bit scared about it. I tended to shy away from those in a big collection. But actually, once you see them being used, you see how versatile they are. And getting something like this is a great way of getting you started down that embossing road. And Jan, you're going to show us what you can do with an embossing folder, aren't you?
We are, yeah. And I've taken that one from the Vintage Rose collection, which isn't actually that old. It's not that long since this collection. It was only earlier in the summer that this was launched as a collection. So to have something like that in that mystery bag is brilliant. So again, a 3D folder. So we're going to get that really nice sculpted embossing. It's a 5x7 folder, this one, and you can see straight away that they are much, much thicker. And this is something we need to be aware of again when we do our popping it through the Gemini. I have mended my Gemini, by the way. Is it still in one piece? Okay, so what I'm going to do is just pop that to one side for a second because I want to add some colour to my cardstock before I pop it through the embossing folder. So again, you know, you've got lots of different mediums for this. You could use your inks to pop on there. We've got our shimmer sprays that pop on there. You know, anything that you want to create the colour. But I'm actually going to bring in one of those Cosmic Shimmer airless misters there. So these are full of water-based ink. Okay, and they come through that nozzle in a manner, they have some magic in here whereby the nozzles don't actually clog. And I have had that happen with some in the past, not these particular brands, but some that I've had in the past. It does tend to clog in here. So this is a great way of doing it. So I've chosen the Flirty Pink and I brought in my very high-tech spray booth here, which just happens to be an old box lid. You can tell it's well loved with the amount of colour and glitter and all sorts that's inside here. I've had this years. Now, you don't need to shake these up. This is just full of actual water-based ink. So you don't need to shake it. There's no mixing bowl in it. It is just a water substrate in there. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to spray onto my piece of card. Now, this is actually a multi-purpose card. You can use watercolour card, preferably something that's a decent weight, because the minute you start adding water, it is going to buckle slightly. Now, if I go close up to it, I'm going to get a really vivid sort of colour on here. If I go a little bit further away, I'm actually going to get sort of more of a spritzed effect. Now I'm just going to bring it away from my beautiful white desk. Ooh, I can't come too far, can I? Yeah, so I'm just going to have about 10 inches or so away from it, and I'm literally just going to press that top. And it's the most gorgeous shade. Can you see? If I just squeeze it a little bit, I'm getting those bigger droplets.
Yeah.
If I press it a bit firmer, yeah, I'm getting the spray. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a wet wipe here, and I don't want all those big blotches on it. And I also quite like how it almost blends while it's still in there. You could say, well, you're taking some of the ink off, which I am, but I'm not too worried about that. There is plenty in those misters. And again, I like the fact that it's sort of blending it in places. I don't want to do the whole thing. I'm just going to do some of it so that you've got that blended look, and some of it so that it's still spritzed. So I'm going to get rid of that one before I get covered in the pink. Get rid of my technique box. Pop that down there so that I don't fall over it. And you can see now we've got that lovely, some of it's speckled. And some of it's got that where I've just used the wet wipe on it because I wanted that kind of blended look in here. Now it does dry fairly quickly. I am just going to blot it with a little bit of kitchen paper because you can use your heat tool on it, but as we all know, you know, the minute you apply heat, it will actually start buckling the card. So just a little bit of kitchen paper on there. We'll just take off any excess because I'm now going to pop it in my embossing folder. And we're literally going to emboss that detail into the pink. So I just want to make sure, excuse me, just make sure we've got that raised side underneath and the recessed side at the top.
Okay.
And again, it's slightly smaller for the size of my project. I've just cut it down to the size that I wanted it to be. And I'm just going to pop that under that detail there. And we're going to emboss this. So again, I said we needed to be aware that this was a thicker folder. So again, I'm going to bring all 4 of my plates in. But because this is thicker, we need to lose some of the thickness here. And I'm going to take away one of my either clear or white plates, depending which ones you're using, all right? Those are the thickest of the plates. I'm actually going to take one of those away. Now, I like to pop my magnetic mat on the bottom here, on top of one of the base plates, then this one, and then I'm going to use this one as my top plate. And again, I'm going to make sure that that hinge on the embossing folder goes through the machine first. Now I have put my sheen back together. It was just a little flip piece at the back, and I have made sure it's open this time because that was scary. I wondered what was going on. It just shows how robust they are, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There we go. So that's gone
powerful.
through nicely this time. And again, we should have transferred that lovely embossed detail. So these are actually like sculpting.
Ooh.
It really is stunning. So again, if I pop you this into camera vision, you can just see how it's got all that beautiful detail in there. Now you could leave it like that, but we're going to enhance this sort of embossed area. If I just flick it over while our James is having a look there, you can just see how deep that embossing is. It really is gorgeous. You've got different levels of embossing. Some of it is sort of like an ordinary 2D level. And where the flowers are, you've got all that beautiful deep sculpting in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in some ink, and I've chosen one of our water reactive inks. And I've gone with the pink family, but a slight contrast. This is Plum Jam, which actually looks quite dark in the ink pad, but it's going to come up nicely on there. And then I've just brought one of my brushes in. Now we don't sell these on the website, but you can get them readily on the internet. And sometimes I find it easier to do this technique with a brush than I do with the applicator.
Okay.
And again, it's one of those things that if you haven't done it before, try with what you've got and see what kind of effect you come up with. But for me personally, I actually like the idea of this. Reason being is it's going to catch the edge of the embossing. So again, I'm going to take off any surplus here, and I'm just going to sweep it over the top of the embossing. And you can see how that ink is catching. I don't particularly want to colour it in.
No.
I just want to catch the edge of it so that it shows off that embossing. So I'm literally going side to side at the minute here. Okay, and then I'm just going to turn it slightly so that we get it from the other side as well. And you can build this up as much or as little as you wish.
I love the fact that you just by using a slightly different tool, you get a different effect with things.
Yeah. And this is what I love about all these different mediums. So again, you know, this very, very simplistic terms, you have mixed your media there. You know, you've started out with a wet medium with the ink onto paper, and then we've added our inks. So we've got two different mediums gone onto the paper, the cardstock, which effectively is what mixed media is all about. It doesn't have to be all singing and dancing. You know, it can be what you want it to be, and it is simply just a case of mixing those mediums. So I've just got a little bit of water in there that I'm going to clean up and try and stay on top of my housekeeping with the mat. And then this is what we're actually going to use for our project now. So again, I've prepared just a very basic 5x7 card this time, and I've just used some of our matte silver mirror card, that satin mirror card from the luxury card packs there. And then what we're going to do, I'm just going to swap out for the one I've done here, which I have matted again. You can see the difference here of popping this one on the card. Looks fine, it looks black there, doesn't it, in the but you can see that's got the silver round it. But just by matting it onto that black layer again, it just makes it pop.
Finishes it off properly, doesn't it?
So all I've done is pop that whole piece onto a piece of black. Okay, and I've started doing this just to remind me here. I've just popped some tape, and I've just remembered when I turned it over again that I do want to pop a little bit of ribbon, and I'm the world's worst at forgetting to do this. So by popping the tape on the back, I turn it over and think, oh yeah, I need to put the ribbon on there. So I'm just going to take the liner off there. Just got a little bit of checked ribbon out of my stash at home, and I'm going to stretch that across the front there just as a little bit of an extra feature and trap it behind. And then this, I've popped a couple of gems on there, and this is going to be our top layer. So because I'm going onto that shiny satin card again, I'm going to stick with my tape runner for the adhesive this time.
When you do like a scant border like that, what with the measurements, it's less than 1/4 of an inch. Is it 1/8 of an inch that you would use?
Normally I would leave 1/4 of an inch border, which gives you 1/8 all the way round. This one is slightly less than that, so you've got probably just over 1/16 of an inch round the black. Again, I didn't want too much black in there. I just wanted it to frame that embossed piece so that it stood out from the silver level. So yeah, we've got, if I hold you that now against the lights there, you can see we've got that silver around the edge and then the black just framing that embossed panel. And the number of times we've said, you know, that you don't need to do much more to an embossed piece like that than add a sentiment. So yeah, we're just going to pop that side, I think, to offset the little pearls there. And I've put some foam on the back of here. And this was what I was talking about earlier. I've used the funky foam for this for a long, long time. If I've got something that's got, you know, a flat surface like that, I've just put a little bit of black foam on there. And then of course now we've brought out our own foam. So again, it's opened up lots of different things that we can do with that. So that one's going to go just on the bottom there. I haven't decorated the inside of this one. I do sometimes actually transfer what I call the outside to the inside just to link it. But this one I've actually just left blank inside so that you could write your own message in there. So again, you can see we've got that gorgeous embossed detail. It doesn't need to have much more. This would be a great one as well to add a little bit of the gilding wax on if you wanted to. They would look gorgeous on there. But again, if I turn you that one round, that's using those beautiful water-based inks from Cosmic Shimmer. And that was the pink one. The Poppy Parade is proper, what I call a proper pillar box red. It really is poppy red. It is beautiful. And then I think, what was the other colour out of? There was Pacific Point is actually like a lovely ocean turquoise blue. Yep. And then we've got the Flirty Pink is the one that I've just used there. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Absolutely, and so easy to use. You know, you could actually do a whole piece of cardstock and put an A4 piece in your spray box, do the whole lot, and then you could actually do these techniques. You could die cut out of the scraps out of it, probably possibly make more than one card. Yeah, get your money's worth.
Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Great deal on those airless misters as well, 3 for 2. So do have a look at the website for those. Laura says, I love seeing how the brush works on that embossing folder. And Sandra Peake said, today's shows have been amazing. I've learnt so much, thank you. We've not finished yet, we've still got another one to go. Lindsay says, I'm loving this card. And Sarah Brown suggests that perhaps we should have some Baileys. That might help us
Maybe.
get our words out.
I like your thinking,
I think it
Sarah.
makes it even worse. You've just seen that amazing demo. This was using just one of the 9 different embossing folders you've got in this embossing mystery bag. Loads of different types of things. To show you a couple of them just now, so you can see a couple of different items. I'm not going to go through them all because you've already seen them, but really amazing collection of all sorts of different embossing folders and cut and embossing folders as well. £30 or $40. Platinum price is £24 or $32. Somebody said here, they're liking us together, Jan.
They're liking us together. That's nice. Yeah. That's very nice. Yeah. I think we're on the same wavelength today, aren't we?
That's
with
the
all
worrying thing.
the stuttering and the knocking things over and firing things out of the back of the Gemini. It was, yes, one of those days.
It has been one of those days. Right, I'm just going to grab these underneath. We are looking at glitter pastes. Which one's which? Because I've got a whole bundle here. I think I've got... Am I going to go for... Are they all in the bundle? Oh, they were on 2 different
That's your everyday
sections.
ones, yeah.
Of course, these are my everyday ones because every day is a glitter day, isn't it? Every day is a glitter day. First one I'm going to look at is your rose gold. I love that colour, as you can probably tell from my dress. That is definitely the kind of colour that I would want to do. Again, with these pots, you're going to be using so very little when you're coming to use them with your stencils. It's going to make it well worth the purchase. This next one is your Copper Beach. Again, beautiful colours, so much glitter in here. Starlight Blue, that is a beautiful colour. Different blue to the blue that you've seen earlier on. This one's got more of a kind of turquoise hue to it, while the other one was very much a royal blue. This is your Regal Purple. Crafter's Purple, I would say, that is. It is Regal, yes, it's very true. Crafter's Companion Purple there, very pretty colour. This next one is your Peony Bloom. Again, beautiful, almost a cerise fuchsia kind of colour that you've got in here. And then you've got your Jade River. I really like this. In fact, I'd like a dress this colour. I am ignoring you, Nicola. I'm not going back to the Peony Bloom. Okay, it doesn't work. Just doesn't work. I can't open that. I'm going to get into trouble. I see Tracy looking at me going, don't open them. All of these, let's put those there. Let's put this one there. So you can see all the colours. Look at those, beautiful set of colours. £35 or $45. It's a 15% saving that you've got here. £28 or $36 is your platinum price. They stayed put. Ta-da! No, they stayed put. They've stayed put. I think I'm going to have a quick glass of water, and we're going to go for a quick break, give you the opportunity to check out your baskets, and us to possibly have a biscuit before we come back to you. We'll see you in a couple of moments.
We get to know people from places and walks of life that we wouldn't come across in our everyday life if it wasn't for Crafters TV and doing what we do.
I got so many lovely comments from people when I started doing the presenting, and it was just really such a lovely feeling. And it's nice that people keep messaging in. You know, we see the same people. We know you can build up that kind of relationship with those people. So it's just the fact that people like what we do and they're pleased. And I do love it when people send us photographs of the items that they've made.
We talk about customers, but really they go in as a customer, come out as a friend. The support that I get is amazing. The messages I get are amazing.
Me personally, it is personal interaction. I've never had the best of health. I've always been open about that with our viewers at Crafters TV. So many people are in the same situation as me health-wise. Other people have got a completely different health issues. They understand and they relate to what I'm going through, what others are going through. So whether we interact on a crafting basis or whether we interact on a health basis, a personal basis, we're all there to support one another. It is incredible.
The reaction of viewers when they come to meet us is worth all of the early mornings when we have to get up for our early morning shows.
Some of the customers come on as craft ambassadors and things like that, craft along with us, and being able to actually chat with them on air. Love it. I really love that connection with them.
We've had lots of shows where we've done like craft alongs, especially where we've had viewers craft along with us. We had a particular viewer, Joy, who joined us once before, and she literally made me cry on air, and Joe, because the things she said about us, it really was quite humbling that there are people out there that watch us and invite us into their living rooms and really treat us like family.
If you love Crafters TV, we've made it easy for you to watch us wherever you are. Whether you catch us on your tablets or take us with you on your mobile phone, it's easy to watch us anywhere. From here to here. Maybe don't watch us here. It would be easy to watch us here. Probably the easiest place to watch us is here. Crafters TV, with you wherever you are.
What makes Crafters TV so special is you guys.
It's really special because the experts are really experts. They're really skilled at what they do, and they want to make sure that the audience also improves on their skills.
Crafters TV is so special because you've got together a really sort of key group of people and people that are very passionate about the products.
Crafters TV is so special because it's a unique community that we have with each other where we can learn and grow and communicate with each other.
Community, the family spirit, the education, everything to do with craft. We are all like-minded people who share a passion.
I love all the inspiration the demonstrators bring and all the knowledge for us out here.
What makes Crafters TV so special? 100% it's the interaction. No other crafting TV channel or show has the same interaction.
I love the community, I love chatting live, I think that's the best part. And it's gone beyond crafting because we've become friends.
It feels to me to be a really, really close relationship with our customers and viewers.
You guys make us feel like we're part of your family. I've never been on the show before, but one of my friends who I did meet from CCTV encouraged me, and I was on the craft along.
A massive team of people, and I think they've all got their role to play, and it just brings everything together. It allows us to do our job and just love it.
The people, obviously, the people not just here at Crafters Companion, but the viewers that watch us. I mean, everybody. We have this real magical essence about it.
Bye for now. Bye.
Hello everybody, welcome back. Had a little bit of a, bit of a rest for that 3 minutes we had a break, a little chat, and I didn't eat any of my biscuits yet. I have to do those later. Laurel says, thank you for demoing those Cosmic Shimmer products. I've never seen them demoed before. It's always helpful, isn't it, to actually see how you can use them and how diverse they are. Shadiah says, good morning, Nana Jane and Becky. Just got home, forgot my bunch of keys at work, so I've had to return to get it. I missed all the shows. I'm very tired. Oh, that doesn't sound very good. Not good at all. Now, we do have, so it's all been about mixed media today. We do have some fabulous glitter glues for you as well. Now, each of these come in a pack of 3, but we're talking about the whole bundle. So you're actually getting 15 bottles altogether. And the first one we're going to show you are your Precious Pastels. Then we have your Sparkling Florals. We have your Festive Frost. All the Glitters, which is a kind of iridescent pack, 3-pack. And then Glittering Ballroom as well. Now, it's difficult to see exactly what the colours look like from the bottles. So I do have some boards to show you with the collection of all these different colours. And I love these because I think, you can use them for writing, you can use them for just a tiny bit of embellishments, but actually use them as little dots is really a really nice idea. This one is your Precious Pastels. Then you've got your Festive Frost. So you've got that beautiful green and that deep red, as well as the sort of whitey iridescent colour. This one is your Glittering Ballroom. Then we have your all that glitters, which are the iridescent ones, so great for making snow and embellishing Father Christmas's beard. And then finally we've got your sparkling florals in here, particularly like that green colour. £27.96 or $39.80. Your platinum price is £22.37 or $31.84. I'm loving these. These are absolutely gorgeous. I love these glitter glues.
I think they're going to be a great addition to anybody's craft kit, these, just for adding those little embellishments. If you know, when you think, oh, it just needs a bit of something, and we all love a bit of sparkle. I don't think I've met anybody yet that doesn't like a little bit of sparkle in their life. So I've got a few samples just to show you some of the different ways that you can actually use these. So this particular one has been stamped out, and I think it's been heat embossed in gold. And then we've used that gorgeous glitter glue there just to add that beautiful shimmer. It's just made it look really quite decadent on there, and it stands out beautifully against the ink background. So that's one way to use them. And then this one has used one of the embossing folders. I think this is from our Once Upon a Time collection. And
really
what
pretty.
we've done is we've used the glitter glue to highlight the areas. And again, it's got a texture to it. It is different to the glitter paste. Obviously, this has got an adhesive in it as well. But it does actually have, you know, when I run my finger over here, there is actually a little bit of texture. So these would be fabulous, you know, for people that were maybe visually impaired, just to be able to feel all the detail on it would be gorgeous. Again, we've done one with the die cuts there. So we've actually cut out the flowers and then used the glitter just to fill those little sort of, the die cuts created like a border to fill those little areas with that purple glitter there. Looks really pretty, and then just added a gem in the centres there. Again, it's perfect for highlighting. I just think anything that has wings, so whether it be your fairies or dragonflies, butterflies, anything like that, I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. And as I say, when you feel it, it has got a slight texture to it, so it does feel different. And then this one, I love this one. This is our Bianca that's created this one, and it's so simple in its design, but I think Bianca's actually had her finger in the glue here. She may have done it with the nozzle, but literally I would just be popping a bit out on my mat, and she's just gone around the edge of those beautiful peony flowers. And I'm not sure whether the camera's picking it up or not, but you've got that beautiful just shimmer on the roses there, the peonies. And then also perfect example of creating your own little sort of glitter dots. So again, just using them as little beads on there. Because it's got an adhesive in it, you don't need to add any extra glue. You can just go straight onto your cardstock and create those little embellishments. Now, from my point of view, this is going to be tremendous because, as you know, all my designs have some kind of adhesive pearl or gem or something on them. So yeah, this is actually going to create sort of an extensive range of embellishments. So what I'm actually going to do with it, I'm going to come back to those papers again. I had that 'Tis the Season paper pad out, and we've used it earlier to create the large piece that I showed you with the glitter paste on. In that pad, you have got some that are 4 6x6 squares. So what I've done is I've just taken one of those cut aparts and actually cut it into 4 pieces, and this is just one of those designs. And I've taken our Festive Frost, which has got that lovely Christmas red, you've got that lovely holly green in there, and then you've got that gorgeous sort of sparkling ice, which is like an aurora effect. Just looking at it here under the studio lights, I can see sort of like turquoises and pinks and purples all sparkling away in there. And what again I'm going to do, and this is something that I've been doing quite a bit of recently, and I remember Leanne talking on one of the shows a while back now and saying, you know, don't overlook your pattern papers. I am the world's worst, and to be honest, I love all the backgrounds. I love all these abstract backgrounds, and I use them as a background, and I put something on top of them and I sort of make a focal point. But why not make your piece of paper the focal point? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some of these glitters and we're just going to embellish the actual paper itself. So I'm going to go for the poinsettia at the top here. So these are just in a little bottle with a fine nozzle on. You can just see the nozzle there, and literally they're going to come straight through here. So all I'm going to do is just squeeze gently, and it's almost like colouring with the nozzle. So over the top, and I'm going to do it on the petals that are in the foreground. I'm not so worried about the ones that are at the back. I'm going to go for the ones that are in the foreground here, and literally just add, it's almost like, as I say, colouring or painting in it, painting it over the top, and it's just enhancing some of those beautiful papers that we've got already. I mean, some of the designs on here just blow me away. They really do.
We're very lucky with the paper pads we get, aren't we?
Honestly, the designers just pull it out of the bag every time. I know Debs and I were here at the weekend and we've got the Halloween paper pad on, which was just stunning. So again, using that one over the weekend was great. But yeah, just adding that little bit there. And then I'm going to change to the green, and we'll do a little bit on the foliage as well. So again, same again, they've all got that same little nozzle on them. And again, I'm just going to maybe come down the centres where this sort of the branches bits would be on those ferns. So again, just that little tiny bit. And you can do as much of this or as little. Now again, be mindful that the glues are water-based. So again, if you saturate the card, you may get a bit of warping where the water element's soaked into your card. But the way I tend to get around that is if you know that you're going to be applying a lot, then mount your piece of paper onto some cardstock before you start. Give it a little bit more rigidity before you start adding the glue to it. Yeah? And that way it should have less sort of warping to it. And then the one that's almost like an aurora, I've got these beautiful little glass baubles here, which again, you can either just do a highlight. That one's decided it doesn't want to play. Just use the pin out of my glue bottle there.
Do you know, is this glitter glue able to be used on fabric and be machine washable, or is it water-based? I assume it's
I'm fairly certain it's water-based, yeah. And anything like this is actually produced for crafting. So I think it is more of you know, sort of an accent rather than... we do actually make special products that are washable, but they're not, if I'm right in thinking, Becky, they're normally heat set, aren't they, to be washable, yeah.
I was just thinking, I think, you know, like everybody, you know, you've got Christmas coming up.
Yeah.
And especially when we're doing shows, we have to be Christmassy, you know, all the time. Ooh. And actually, it's quite difficult to find Christmassy outfits, you know, lots of Christmassy outfits. So I was thinking, well, actually, it might be quite nice to be getting a T-shirt and decorating it with some of our Christmassy shapes. You can buy fabric
glitter glues, but these have been designed for paper crafting. So I think they're probably more along the lines of you know, sort of for cardstock and paper. And I've just made a really big blob on that one. So I'm just,
It can dry and be like almost like a sort of actual bauble, couldn't it? It'd be like a gemstone.
I'm just going to literally take off the surplus there and go back to it. And there was a little bit stuck in there, I think. And as I've squeezed it, the whole thing decided to decant onto there. So yeah, we'll try that again and just put a normal amount on there. But again, you can build this up. Takes a little bit longer to dry if you put more on, but if you build it up, you'll get that sort of domed effect to it. I'm also going to put some, just inside, there's a little lantern down here at the bottom. So I'm actually going to pop a little bit inside that lantern there as well, so that it looks as if it's actually sparkling with light. So just round the inside where the glass is. And again, I just think it's a great way, maybe on the candle flame, and this is like step away, Jan. You look round and think, where else can I stick some of the glitter? Yeah, don't sit still too long, whatever you do.
I'm coming over there, Jan. I want to be covered in glitter.
Honestly, who doesn't love a little bit of glitter? So again, this is going to take a little while to dry. So anything like this, if I've got this planned for a project, I tend to do it the day before. And then again, just leave them somewhere flat. But you can see on the poinsettia there and across the top, you've got that lovely sort of extra glitz to your design. The little baubles here have made them look more like glass, and then I've just popped a bit inside the lantern there at the bottom as well. So it is still very wet at the minute, but it's just absolutely enhancing those designs. And I've got one that I did, it's a different design because there were 4 on a page. So this is actually one of the other pieces. And again, I've done exactly the same. So I've actually sort of done some, I've not done all of them, but some of the little holly berries. I've gone around some of the edges of some of those holly leaves. I've coloured the baubles in. And then I just went round this with my pen because it was quite faint on the bunting and I wanted that to be my greeting rather than adding a separate greeting to it. So again, if I just pop that in the light, you can see when it's dried, that sparkle's coming out much better. The other one was still wet at the minute, but yeah, down at the bottom, I've done the little breasts on the birdies there. Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely.
And then I've just matted it onto some red card and I'm just going to keep this as simple as it comes. I've just got some craft card because I thought that went well with the background in here. And again, because it's already got some dimension on there, I'm not going to go and run over it with my tape pen. I don't want to sort of flatten the dimension that glue's created. So I'm just going to go on the back there with some of my collal. Because we're sticking cardstock to cardstock, that one will just go on here. And then I thought I just want a little bit of something. I mean, you could leave it at that. That could be your design, absolutely, no problem. But I thought just a little bit of something. So all I've done is cut a couple of little holly leaves out of one of my dies. And I'm just going to pop those in the corner with a little bit of my tacky glue. And I don't want to cover the banner up there where it says Merry Christmas, so I'm just going to pop these to one side.
Oh, it's not long to Christmas now. Oh no, I can hear everybody say, don't say that, but it'll come around really quickly. I always think November is a non-month because it goes so quickly.
A non-month.
It just, you know, it's the 1st of November and my father-in-law's birthday is on the 5th. So we have a big firework party, no, 4th of November, and a big firework party, and then suddenly it's Christmas.
Well, I just cannot get my breath that my little baby, my little grand cub, is a year old next month. And it's like, how did that happen? You know, this time last year, we were all so excited, waiting for his arrival. And yet he was 11 months old yesterday on the 21st. And his birthday's on the 21st of October. And I'm like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
How did he become nearly a year old already?
Aww.
Yeah? So yeah, I've just added that tiny little embellishment in the corner there. As I say, it's optional. But if we turn that round again for you, just enhancing those papers and making use of those gorgeous designs within your papers and adding that little bit of sparkle. And I think especially for Christmas, who doesn't love a bit of sparkle?
Oh, every day, Jan, every day.
Every day.
Oh, it looks beautiful. Loads of people loving what you're doing. Laura Grace says, I've used glitter glues and I like to have a small round paintbrush to spread it with. It makes it easier to get the small details in designs covered in it. We do have to say happy birthday to Valerie, who is 74 today. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
What did you get? Did you get something exciting? More importantly, what kind of cake did you get? Because that's always what I like to hear. Before we go back to more cake and do the demo, we're going to do vote for demo of the, not day yet, demo of the show. It feels like it's the end of the day already. I don't know why. This is the glitter glue that we've been looking at. Glitter glue. This is your precious pastels, first of all. I'm showing you on the boards because I think actually you see the colours a lot better on the boards than you do it in the actual little pots. And this one is your festive frost, which is the one you just saw Jan using. You've got that sparkling ice, the red currant and the Christmas wreath. Beautiful colours, really, really rich colours. Glittering ballroom, silver gold and a kind of bluey black glitter kind of colour you've got there. Then you have your all the glitters, which is your iridescent kind of colours here. And then finally, you've got your sparkling florals with the pansy, the fresh zest, and the berry pie. £27.96 or $39.80. Platinum price is £22.37 or $31.84. We need to do demo of the day of week show.
So I'm not quite sure how we're going to make it to 8 o'clock at this rate.
I definitely
Goodness me. Right, we've got 4 to choose from then for the show this afternoon. So starting at the top of the show, then we had those cut and emboss folders, which we mixed and matched with the gilding wax there. So we've done a little Halloween treat box there. So that was number 1. Number 2, we fetched the glitter paste out and the stencils again. And we made the little card that looks as if it's all one. Or the little card, it was a large card, this one. But we've got that centrepiece. We cut the aperture in and had the centrepiece hidden on the inside. So that was the glitter paste, that's number 2. Number 3, I just chose one of the embossing folders out of that mystery bag. There's no longer a mystery really, and we actually coupled that up with those Cosmic Shimmer products, and I used the Airless Mister there. That's the Flirty Pink. That's number 3. And then number 4, we've just having to pick that one up very carefully. Oh no, that one's dry. You're okay, Jan, that one's dry. Okay, so that was using those glitter glues to just sort of accent our already beautiful sort of papers from one of the paper pads there, and just made a very, very simple little Christmas card with a little bit of zhuzh on there.
Love it.
That was number 4.
Fantastic. Please get your votes in. It's Demo of the Century. I've just given up. I'm just going with it. Demo of the Century. Right, we do have the showstopper to show you here. You're saving over 40% with all of the goodies that you've got in here. So I'm just going to take them out to show you exactly what you're going to be getting. The first item is going to be a blending tool. This is your circular blending tool with those 2 little circular pads in there. You've also got some blending sponges. These are a little bit like a cosmetic makeup sponge, but really great for blending out all those tiny details, especially with them being egg-shaped. Makes them really useful to use. You've then got a selection of misters, yeah, fine spray misters. I'm thinking demister, no, that's not right. Misters. We also have given you in this bundle some of that gilding wax in that beautiful silver. Again, like we said before, this little pot goes a very long way, as does the glitter paste, which you've got in the Ice Dance, which is that beautiful royal blue. The next one we've got are your tricolour aqua pens. These are different to your tricolour alcohol markers in that you're going to get different tones, different colours in these ones rather than different tones. And these are watercolours as opposed to alcohol, but they've got different colours in there rather than different tones. A really nice little selection in there. This is your Floral Meadow collection that you've got in here. We've also got some of your acrylic markers. We saw a fantastic demo earlier today using these. These are the jewel tones. Jewel as in like diamonds, not jewel as in 2 colour. My accent, how do you say that? Jewel and jewel? Jewel, yeah. Jewel. You know what I mean. Watercolour card, you're always going to need this if you're going to be making some other bits and pieces with this multimedia collection. This is £35 or $45. Platinum price is £28 or $36. The next item we've got is some acrylic markers. These, we saw these earlier today. We've got a whole load of different colours in here. Basically, this whole bundle, you've got 4 different packs in here. Every single colour you can possibly need is going to be in here. This first one is your jewel. And not a kind of jewel. You know, I'm not going to be on guard like that. Not that kind of jewel. These are pink, orange, purple and violet, kind of amethyst and jewel tones. Next one is your bright, so you've got your primary colours in there as well as a green. Then you've got your pastel colours in here, lilacs, greens, blues and pinks. And then finally you've got your essentials, so you've got gold, white, black and silver in here. All of these together. Just £22 or $30. Platinum price is £17.60 or $24. I've got an answer to which is the winning demo. What do we think in the gallery? What's going to be the winner? They think 1 in the gallery. Jan, what do you reckon?
I never like to choose. I never
do you not?
know.
Okay. The winner of Demo of the Century is number 2.
Number 2, the glitter paste.
Of course it's got to be number 2.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys.
Well done, Jan.
We'll put that one along with our little flamingos from earlier.
That's such a different type of thing to do, and I think that's the reason people have gone for that, because it looks lovely. Really like that. I'm going to be having a go at that. But obviously I need to buy the glitter paste and the stencils, as well as those pens and those stamps. Oh dear, it's terrible. I don't know. Next thing I'm going to have a look at. Yes, I've got some samples for the acrylic pens.
Fabulous. Yes, so Yeah, just show you one or two different ways. Again, these are actually an acrylic paint in a pen, so it allows that application to be quite precise. So you can see here we've actually used an embossing folder and just gone over the top of that with the pens to create the most incredible effect. I just think the blossom there on the tree is beautiful. And then again, they will go onto fabric. So this one's actually been done onto a little piece of denim that we've cut, and then the pens directly onto here. So just as an, you know, an accent on a project. They're not washable once they're on there. Again, using that fabric, you know, how cute are they? You know, if you do like drawing, or if, you know, if you want to sort of project something onto there, and just literally colour straight onto the little canvas, just a little canvas purse there. Again, what about using them on your clear phone? Sorry, James, I put that one down there. We'll put it that way. On the clear phone cases. All right. I'm guessing that our Debs might have done this one because it's got a DF on there. So I'm thinking Debbie Fisher that's maybe demoed that one. But yeah, this is just one of the normal cheap sort of clear phone cases, and she's worked on the inside here. I can feel the texture on the inside, which means that it's all protected inside there. But yeah, what a great idea. It's masked it out with a couple of letters first so that it's got those in the middle. But yeah, fabulous. And then of course, other things that you can pop this on that will go directly onto glass. So you can decorate your own little treat jars or things like that. Literally straight. The paint will stick straight to here. Just take a little bit longer to dry because it's on a non-porous surface than it would do on such as cardstock. And then again, the one that everybody's familiar with, they are great for colouring those little, you know, just the stones, the pebbles that you collect, and you can do your own designs on those. So yeah, lots and lots, and that's just skimming the surface of what you can, you know, anything like that. I would suggest, you know, you try, if you're not sure whether something's going to work or not, try it on a scrap and see whether it works. You know, at the end of the day, you're only losing a little bit of either cardstock or fabric or whatever it is you're doing to see whether it actually works or not.
It looks lovely. I really like that. Particularly like that idea of a phone case.
Yes,
you know, quite
very
good
novel,
if you're,
that, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, you know, perhaps kids are going to secondary school and people are getting phones. It's quite a good sort of leaving present, that kind of thing. A nice item there. Obviously, we were looking at the glitter paste and we were looking at all those Christmassy stencils, but perhaps you'd like to have a look at some other stencils that we've got for you. These will work in exactly the same way with the glitter paste, but of course you can use them with other things as well, so you can use them with your inks. This first one is your delightful butterflies. Once again, you've got that large square stencil as well as the long thin one and the smaller square, so very adaptable and very, very usable. This next one, gosh, I love that one. That is beautiful. That is your Art Deco. That is absolutely stunning. Exactly the same pattern as we had on some of the acetate from the Roaring Twenties collection. That is beautiful. My mum will like that one.
And the paste will go on to acetate, so you could create your own glittered acetate there, couldn't you?
When I had a little bit of that, and I had the tiniest piece, I just couldn't give it away or throw it away because it was so beautiful. But like you say, you can make your own that way, can't you? Definitely. This is your Swirls and Flourish. Again, very, very pretty, almost a Baroque kind of feel to it there. This one is your Peacocks. It's upside down. It is. It is upside down. This is your Peacocks. Again, quite sort of Art Deco-y kind of feel to it with that overall pattern. Very pretty again. Next one is your Spots and Dots. Hugely versatile, this one. I mean, I think when we look at the, was it Colour My World collection, we had papers like this with all those different colours, which look really beautiful, make your own. And then we've got Love Hearts in here as well. Fabulous collection. Again, something else is going to be popping into my basket, despite the fact that Tracy will tell me to stop buying things, but I just can't help. £39.95 or $49.75. That platinum price is £31.96 or $39.80. Sarah Brown said, it has been such a fun show. Thanks, Becky and Jan. You both probably need to have a sleep after this. We do, but we have no time. We have no time. Have a little bit of a dinner. We have an hour, but I do need to pop home to give Jan a jacket. I might have to shoot home very quickly and go and do that. I'm not driving all the way to London. I've got a
Don't
jacket.
worry about that. That's not.
I've got a jacket in the house up here that we're going to try, because we've got photo shoots next week, and we've all been discussing what we're going to be wearing. So we might see if we can do something like that. Thank you very much for joining us today. I'm so sorry that I had to put my teeth in, and they've obviously just keep falling out, and my ears
on, teeth in, honestly.
I know it's been one of those afternoons. Hopefully the next show will be.
We will try harder at 6 o'clock.
We
Becky.
are much harder, Jan. Even if we don't manage to sort ourselves out, do join us, because it'll be amusing anyway. Have a lovely hour. We'll see you in an hour's time. And remember, any questions, just keep them coming.